Chapter 6 of the Forbidden Gods series, Chemosh. Previously, I talked about Malt, the god that takes innocent sacrifice. In this lesson, we will discuss Chemosh. Imagine your entire national identity, your passport, your wars, your very survival was tied to a single, terrifying figure. In the ancient world, if you were a Moabite, you weren't just a citizen. You were the people of Chemosh. Chemosh wasn't just a statue on a hill. He was the destroyer, a god of war and conquest who demanded everything from his followers. While Israel looked to Yahweh, the Moabites looked to a deity that thrived on the smoke of the battlefield. But here's where it gets wild. This isn't just Sunday school mythology. We have the receipts in stone, the ultimate sacrifice, the biblical account. Chemosh was a demanding master. In times of peace, he took grain and incense. But in times of military desperation, he demanded the unthinkable. In 2 Kings chapter 3, we see a coalition of kings cornering the king of Moab, Chemosh, in his capital city. The battle was lost until Chemosh took a horrific Hail Mary shot to get his god's attention. Here's the account from the NKJV. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too fierce for him, he took with him 700 men who drew swords to break through to the king of Edom, but they could not. Then he took his eldest son, who would have reigned in his place, and offered him as a burnt offering upon the wall. And there was great indignation against Israel. So they departed from him and returned to their own land. 2 Kings 3:26-27. The text tells us the tide of the battle actually turned. Why? Because the spiritual atmosphere shifted. This leads us to a darker truth often glossed over. Who was actually receiving these sacrifices? The spiritual reality behind the mask. To the ancient Moabites, Chemosh was a god, but the Bible pulls back the curtain on what these deities actually were. The Israelites were warned repeatedly that sacrificing to idols wasn't just a waste of time, it was a direct interaction with the demonic. Psalm 106-37 states it plainly. They even sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons. In the New Testament, Paul doubles down in 1 Corinthians 10:20, saying that the things the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to demons and not to God. Behind the high places of Chemosh wasn't just wood and stone, but spiritual entities that fed on the lifeblood of the innocent. This wasn't just religion. It was spiritual warfare. The Moabite stone. Archaeology meets faith. Now, for the skeptics, did any of this actually happen? In 1868, a basalt slab was discovered in Jordan, known as the Mesha Stele, or the Moabite stone. It dates back to around 840 BC. This stone is a smoking gun for biblical accuracy. On it, King Mesha himself records his rebellion against the house of Omri, king of Israel. He uses the exact name of the Israelite god, YHWH, and credits his victories to Chemosh. He literally writes, Chemosh was angry with his land and Chemosh saved me. This archaeological find proves that the kings, the locations, and the geopolitical conflicts described in the Bible aren't fairy tales, they are grounded in hard historical reality. The Bible knew about King Mesha and his devotion to Chemosh thousands of years before. We dug this stone out of the dirt, the warning and conclusion. Even the wisest man, King Solomon, fell into this trap, building a high place for Chemosh to please his foreign Wives' site later demolished by the reformer King Josiah. The story of Chemosh is a reminder. History is written in stone, but the spiritual battle for the heart is ongoing. If you want more deep dives into the archaeology of the Bible, hit that follow button. We're just getting started.